Okay, now I'm going to be talking about indoor cages, how you want your indoor cage set up. On my website, beccasbunny.webs.com, you can find a link entitled Indoor Cages. It's also linked from the checklist, which just has an overview, and then the indoor cages I go more in depth. Pretty much what I'm going to be saying right now. So remember, you're bringing home a baby bunny. A lot of different websites, a lot of different information out there. We'll have different viewpoints on what is appropriate for rabbit housing. And as soon as you have a litter trained bunny, an adult rabbit that's confident in your home, the housing possibilities are endless. You can house your rabbit in just about anything you want. A pretty cabinet style, a hut, indoor hutch, or just free ranging with a litter pan. That's up to you. But remember, I am advocating for your baby bunny, how to make them more confident in your home, how to increase their sociability, and then also how to jumpstart their litter training. So, as my page first starts out saying, you have to have a cage for your baby bunny. Absolutely. The type of cage I recommend is always plastic bottom. A lot of people will recommend wire bottom, and I do not understand why wire bottom. Makes sense outside because it's more sanitary. Makes sense for everything just to fall to the ground and then dry up as a compost. But indoors, it's not, why not have bedding? It's more comfortable for your rabbit. The wire grate and everything does never fall through perfectly. And then also, your bunny can pee to the edges. And I have more of a picture slideshow to reiterate that. So like a regular plastic-based cage like this is perfect for your baby bunny. It's easy to clean. Your bunny does have a little bit of protection here, and the wall prevents him from peeing and kicking out bedding. And then the open top creates an area for them to view you from every direction. The hutch styles are not good for your bunny because they can't see out every direction like this. The bunny feels more isolated. So even though you think this looks more like a cage because of all the wiring, it's actually less like a cage. And then also to increase sociability, when you get provided your rabbit with a cage, it helps them create confidence. They feel secure. They have a home base. So actually it increases their sociability because they look forward to you letting them out to play. Whereas, a person would think, well, if I just have my rabbit baby bunny free ranging at first, that'll make them sociable. Absolutely not. It can stress them out. Every bunny's different. Some bunnies, are confident very soon. They adapt to their new home very quickly. Other bunnies take more time, depending on, how different they feel everything is in their surroundings. So, in your indoor cage, you want to have bedding all throughout the base. I see a lot of pictures where there is no bedding, and that's not clean. The bedding is what absorbs their pee underneath them. They're not perfectly litter trained yet, so when they pee on the plastic, it'll puddle up underneath them. So you definitely want bedding all throughout. The bedding I recommend is the Aspen bedding. I'll show a picture of that later. And then even if your bunny is litter trained, why not have bedding all throughout? It creates a more comfortable, and like I said, it's still cleaner because even just a little water droplets from the bottle or just regular sweat and whatever the bunny, whatever grime is on the bunny, makes the cage bottom greasy. So it's good to have the bedding to create that cleanliness. You want to take out the hidey house, so no hidey houses. Allow your bunny to see you and look out, and also it becomes dirty if they're not litter trained on top. Another addition to clean. So this is the indoor wire cage people recommend. Like I said, I do not understand why this is more appealing. The bunny easily pees all over the floor. They did not make any indoor wire cage with a base deep enough to collect things appropriately. So it's just a mess to try and pull out. The rabbit has to be on wire, which, the rabbit on the wire is not a big deal if it's a smaller weight rabbit, so under 4 pounds is fine. None of my rabbits outdoors have any kind of sore hocks or infections. My outdoor rabbits actually prefer being on the wire because they get a nice breeze underneath them. So, but to me, for an indoor setup, it just doesn't make any sense. when you can have a plastic, more cleanly cage and more comfortable for them at all times. So this is a no-no. Also, the dog crates. I see a lot of people recommend dog crates for rabbits, which is fine for your perfectly litter trained adult rabbit that you can put down mats and a blanket and have the litter pan in the corner. But a baby bunny can squeeze through the dog crate slats and they can crush their ribs and die. And this has happened. And I have warned people not to put bunnies in dog crates, and it has resulted in the death of the baby bunny. Same goes for, I actually do recommend this cage. This is on wheels, but luckily this wire insert can be removed so that the cage can be used as a regular bedding bottom. So like I said, when your bunny's litter trained, you can have endless possibilities. So you can have a condo style, you can refurbish a dresser or hutch and make it look really fancy and fit with your furniture in your home. But a regular cage is what you need to bring home your baby bunny. And if you are looking to upgrade, you can just invest in a small guinea pig sized cage. They actually litter train faster. So here's just some examples. I love the cages that has a door on top, which usually is the rabbit cage. The guinea pigs are smaller, so they don't have a top door. Another example of a cage. Now none of these examples are showing how to litter train your rabbit. This person did a good job of putting the litter pan under the hay, which is exactly how you litter train a rabbit. They mark their territory where their food is, and also grazing when they're eating and munching. That's where they use the bathroom the most. This person also did it correctly. They're just missing the bedding throughout the cage. Baby bunny, you might find them, only using the bathroom and the litter pan, but that's because you don't have bedding throughout the base. You'd also want a playpen for your baby bunny. It creates a safe zone for them, a confidence zone, so that when they're hopping out, they already know where to play. They already expect where their playthings are. They don't have too much room to roam. And then, as soon as they get confident, you can tell because they'll be looking up, wanting to get out. And then eventually, like I said, they'll rule the house. And you can always use these pens as an outdoor play area. So it's great to go ahead and invest in some sort of playpen, because when you're done using it inside, you can always use it outside. The baby gates work great too. The baby playpens, those work great. Now your litter pan can just be anything plastic that they can hop into. The popular one is the corner pan because it fits in the cage. You want to make sure it does fit the rabbit. It's not a hamster. They do sell smaller ones for hamsters and mice, as they're not big enough. I don't recommend the wire or the grate. What happens is the pee does not dry up fast, so your bunny's paws are yellow, and then also it's a little bit messier. So just a regular litter pan with bedding. Same bedding throughout the cage. I don't recommend the pine pellets. I used to a few years ago recommend the cheap equine bedding, but this stuff breaks down so bad. It's like powder. Gets in the rabbit's nose, sticks to their paws. I've just learned to stick with the plain old aspen bedding. Works the best. So here are some examples of litter training. Again, this is the same concept you do in the cage. You put the litter pan under the hay. I don't recommend putting the hay in the litter pan. Some examples you'll see where they don't have the hay up in a hopper, they have it in the litter pan on one side, but you waste a lot of hay that way because the rabbit will scratch it underneath them, and then hay has a sour smell, and as soon as it gets underneath the rabbit's feet, they won't eat it, about like a goat or a horse. They ignore hay when it gets trampled on. And I see people wanting to use hay as bedding or as the floor of the cage because they think it's like natural, but it's not, because you remember in a natural setting the rabbit can, has acres and acres. They're always on fresh grass, so as soon as they step on something and it has the scent of their feet on it, they're not going to want to eat it. You need to keep the hay up above. So here's just to show you how it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just a plastic cage, a plastic base, and then a basket or something to have the hay. They sell hay hoppers that hang inside the cage. Or here's some homemade. Usually they sell something like a little basket that hangs into the cage, which I think works great. And also a lot of these cages come with this plastic where you have the hay on the outside, and here's their litter pan. So really simple how to litter train your bunny. Really simple how to have your cage set up. You just want bedding all throughout. Again, if you read my tips for your baby bunny, you don't want any hidey houses, no shelving, no toys, no fabric in the cage, because all of that just gets messy and then you get annoyed having to have an extra job to clean. It's good just to keep the cage nice and open, let them learn how to litter train, and then down the road possibilities are endless. So check out my website. On my homepage you'll find my phone number and my email if you want to contact me and discuss things further. Thanks.